God. Fuck. What the fuck, man? Fucking shit. God. The fuck did you think that was a clever god? I'll get this one of these days, guys. Sorry. Anyway, hello there, Nate Jackson, Criterion Collection Reviewer guy here with number 2. We're still in Bergman land, obviously, with still exploring existentiality and questioning faith and spirituality and all of that silly sort of rot. Yes. With number 210, Winter Light. Not Vargasterna. Not Vargasterna. Something like that. Apparently means something else other than Winter Light, but of course, we have to we have our own way of calling movies. We have to. It's like, oh, Winter Light. Oh, that sounds like a really interesting movie. Yes, that works much better than Not Vargasterna. Shoot, I wonder. Now I'm curious to look up and see. I'm wondering if it means anything. Oh, literally it means the communicants, which is a great title. Sounds. I mean, at the same time, it sounds a lot like the communists, I guess. So maybe so Winter Light sounds much more beautiful, much more Academy Award. Yes. 1962, 80 minutes. Technically 81 minutes. Swedish. And not this one is better, much better than Through a Glass Darkly. Much better. Not Wild Strawberries good. Not Magic Flute good. But I'd say probably after Magic Flute, this is the third best. The third best one by Bergman. And I think it's because it's a very intriguing story. It's a story that it's a movie that's very tightly knit. It's a little more it's a bit more. I mean, as far as location and characters, it's a bit more expansive than Through Glass Darkly, but it is still, and maybe because of that, it's not it's better. But at the same time, it's not like this huge world that Bergman's trying to explore. It's just this little village, this little town. Because of that, it's not bad. And this the idea of God and him questioning his faith is something that's a little interesting. A preacher, a priest, if you will, who does it, or pastor. And so let's talk about this. So we got this priest. His name's TOMAS. And he's this pastor at this church, and he doesn't have a lot of people coming to his church. He has like this mother and her child who's licking the pew. There's this couple, this young couple who we'll meet later. Forget their names, but there's this other woman who we'll also meet later, and who else? There's the handicap, the guy with the hunchback, who's his name. What is his name? Algot. Yeah, he was probably the best character in the movie. Well, they're all really good film, all good movie. I mean, characters. But anyway, so he performs this service, and it's like people participate, but because there aren't a lot of people in his church, suggests that he's not as popular as he used to be, or if he isn't very popular, priest at all. The organist, actually the organist might be the funniest character, because he's kind of a dickweed a little bit. I mean, he shows up and he's like plays it, and like he reads like magazines during the sermons, and he like tries to hurry them away when he has to play. And while he's playing, he'll like check his pocket watch, and it was kind of interesting. It was kind of like, I'm not sure if that was supposed to be intentional humor, or if it was just a comment on his character or the church in general. But it kind of like, I kind of smiled at it because I thought, oh, it's kind of funny. But anyway, after the service, the couple, what are their names? I'm gonna look them up right now. What are their names? Jonas and Karen person. They come by and talk to Tomas, and they say, Jonas, Karen speaks for her husband, says, my husband has this problem. He needs your help because he's afraid that the Chinese are going to kill us all. Because the Chinese have just, gotten their hands on atomic bombs, so they're going to just kill the whole world. And I guess this was a true around the time of the early '60s. This was really what happened in China. And so he's afraid. So he says, come back later, and we'll talk. Take your wife home, and we'll talk. And so they go off, and then the woman who comes in, her name's Marta, is actually Tomas's mistress. And so he tries. They talk, and he asks her. She asks him if he had read this letter that he wrote, and he said no, and so he tells her, read it, and so she leaves. He reads the letter, and it's this letter that basically chews him out about being just this really bad person, like kind of a dickweed of a guy, and because I guess she had this burn, she had these burns on her hands, and he told her, I prayed all I wanted, all I could, and nothing happened. So I think you're totally wrong what you're doing. I think you're just you're not, what is it? You're not believable. Basically, I don't believe in what you're saying. I love you madly, but I don't believe in what you're saying. And of course, I should mention that the entire when he reads the letter. The entire scene is basically this. What I've been doing for you guys for the last 6 months. The last 3 years or however long. Basically just staring at you. Looking at you. There's no escape. Marta just looks instead of, him reading the letter and seeing flashbacks, it cuts to Marta looking at the camera, reading the letter. In an uninterrupted, at least for an uninterrupted 6 minutes of her staring at the camera, and that's that was the one thing that I couldn't get behind. It was just creepy. It's just get the fuck away from me, God. She ain't the homeliest looking woman, but she ain't no Liv Ullmann, So yeah. So that was kind of annoying. But anyway, so he falls asleep reading the letter. He wakes up. Jonas comes back. And they talk. And Tomas is finally at this weird place where I think after reading the letter, I think kind of influences his speech to Jonas. Because he eventually tells him, dude, if you're not you're trying to, I'm trying to help you out, but honestly, I don't think I even believe what I'm saying either. I think I'm just I think I'm done with this, And so he says, dude, just don't worry about God. Just live your life, man. You're fine if you just don't think about him, Just pretend like he doesn't exist. And so, basically so Jonas leaves. Tomas kind of denounces himself. And Marta, who was spying on him, is like, oh my God, yes, you're just as atheistic as me. Yeah. So I'm gonna fuck you so hard when we get home. But anyway. However, this widow who was at the service comes by and tells Tomas that Jonas is down the road and he shot himself with a rifle. And so in the head, or just committed, I don't know if it was in the head, but he committed suicide. And so Tomas goes down to I said Jonas, right? Oh, anyway. Tomas goes down to the site, helps the body in, and he's kind of now he's struck again, It's like, I don't know what to do, And so he goes off with Marta to his to their classroom. I guess she's a teacher. And he finally says, I'm getting really sick of you. I'm done with you. Because and so Tomas just kind of lashes all this anger, all this grief that he's had for, his faith and for Jonas out on Marta, and just says, I'm sick of the gossip. I'm sick of just the way you talk so much and all that, and so I'm just, yeah. But anyway, at the same time, Marta just doesn't want to leave him, so she's just whatever. So they go off to see Karen in person and tell him, hey, your husband's dead. And so she freaks out because she's like, what are we gonna do with the children? No, no, no. And so, but he tries to. He says, if I can help, I will. So anyway, so he has another service later that day, and a second church. And Tomas and Marta get there, and there's nobody there except for Algot, the sexton, and the organist, who's late. And I think he kind of he ends up flirting with Marta at one point. He's a little. But however, Algot and Tomas have a little discussion before the service, and Algot talks about just God's suffering and the passion, and it's like, how is he basically asks him, which was worse, the pain that Jesus went through, or the fact that God didn't answer his prayers, God's silence basically. And and so he finally, he said, so wasn't God's silence worse, So he says, and Tomas says, yeah, I guess you're right. And so they're like, well, should we do this? Because nobody's there. And so Tomas just says, get out there. And so he goes out there, and they start the service. It's just Algot, Marta in the back, and that's how the movie ends. So yeah, I mean, I'm not I'm not really a religious person, but I like these movies that question, where people question their faith. It's very similar to Ordet. Ordet was a very religiously driven movie. There's a lot of atheistic ideas, and different ideas about God and spirituality and faith and all that. And so yeah, the two movies are very similar. At the same time, they're also the middle of trilogies that we've seen. And yeah, it's just not a bad one. I mean, I think the one scene that kind of just got on my nerves was the letter scene, because I was like, I'm sick of staring at you. I'm like, can we see something else? Can we move on? I'm impressed that you have that much film in your camera, but it's just like, come on, I'm done with this. So anyway, that's all I can say about this one. Not a bad film, not the greatest, but Bergman, all right, Bergman, okay, it's not a bad one. Yeah, definitely a refreshing improvement from Through a Glass Darkly, which is still the worst Bergman film I've seen so far. But I have been reminded by one of my fellow commentators that I guess Fanny and Alexander is coming up sometime in a few years. And that's 5 hours long, and oh god, I forgot about that film so much. So yeah, so anyway, so maybe that'll be the worst. I don't know. 5 hours of Bergman. I don't know if I can do that, but we'll see. Winter Light. Rating. B. Give it a B minus. I'll give it a B minus. Yeah, not bad. I couldn't bring myself to give it an A because it's Bergman, but at the same time, and the minus is probably just because of the letter scene. So yeah, but still not a bad one. It's passing. It's pretty good passing. This would get into UC Davis, or maybe at least Sac State, or or some state university. Anyway, so that's it. Winter Light, B minus, not bad. Supplements, just another 10-minute interview with Peter Cowie. Talks about the movie and the scenes and blah blah blah, and then the U.S. trailer, more brown nosing, and yeah. So that's that. All right. So, change of plans for this week. I have been called into work on Thursday, so we will only have 2 more reviews this week. We'll do The Silence on Silence on Wednesday, and then Ingmar Bergman makes a movie on Saturday. And so next week we'll have, but next week I'll make up for it because we'll have 5 reviews next week. Now the first one may be Richard III. Originally, I was going to do The Pornographers after I got through the film trilogy. However, because of how much, how long this movie is, because of how long the movie is, and how long the supplements are, I think that we may keep going out of order and save this for Monday, when I have a whole day, because Tuesday I only have part day. I do go to work. I do work on Tuesday, but I'm taking the morning off. So I'm going to dedicate it to Criterion, but I don't know if I have enough time for this much. So we may save it, and considering The Pornographers is just a 2-hour movie, that's probably easier for me to get through than to do that on Tuesday when I have only half the day for Criterion, than Monday when I have the whole day for Criterion. So this one, basically this one will probably be on Monday, next Monday, and then Pornographers on Tuesday. Wednesday will be Devil and Daniel Webster. Then Thursday will be whatever's after that, Tokyo Story, I think, or no, Knife in the Water, and then Rules of the Game on Saturday, and then whatever's after that. I forget what's after that. But anyway, so we're making progress. We've got a plan. Hopefully we can get sticking to it. And yeah, so that's it. So oh god, the silence. Well, let's see what this one looks like. This one looks like it's probably back to oh geez, regarded as one of the most sexually provocative films of its day. Well, that means it's gonna suck. This is even worse than Through a oh man, it means it's gonna be a film worse than Through a Glass Darkly. Well, that just sucks. Anyway, but we ain't gotta worry about it till Wednesday. So I'll see you then. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. Don't lick pews because you don't know where they've been, and don't show up to church. If you're an organist, don't show up to church drunk, and don't hit on your pastor's mistress. That's about it. There's so many, and don't shoot yourself in the head. Don't shoot yourself. Don't kill yourself over God. That's a good one. Don't kill yourself over God. Yeah. Anyway, that's it from me. Thank you for watching, and we will see you on Wednesday for The Silence. And until then, goodbye.